The night has arrived, soft, unhurried, and full of ancient calm. Somewhere beyond the walls of your room, the world continues to hum, the quiet rhythm of life unfolding as it always has. The trees breathe in the cool air of evening, their branches still and patient. The stars drift in their endless dance, glowing like thoughts that never needed words. And here you are, a conscious flicker in this great, mysterious expanse. The simple act of being awake and aware is already a miracle too vast to grasp. But for now, you do not need to grasp anything. You are here to let go. Take a deep, slow breath. Let it fill your chest, your ribs expanding gently like the tide coming in. Then exhale, allowing everything unnecessary to drift away. Again, inhale, slowly and fully. Exhale and feel your body soften, your thoughts loosening their grip. As you breathe, notice how life itself seems to breathe with you, how every rise and fall of your chest echoes the motion of the sea, how your pulse hums with the same rhythm that moves the stars. You are not apart from the world. You are made of it. The same atoms that shine in distant galaxies flow quietly within your blood. In this stillness, notice how each breath seems to slow time. Moments stretch, becoming luminous and wide, as though the universe pauses with you, savoring this quiet communion between self and being. Take another breath. And with each exhale, imagine yourself releasing not only tension, but the noise of the day, every expectation, every unfinished thought. They can all rest for now. There is no need to solve, to achieve, to remember, or to plan. There is only this moment. And in this moment, you are safe, complete, and infinitely enough. Now, imagine a light, soft, golden, and warm, hovering gently at the center of your chest. With each breath, it grows a little brighter, not dazzling or harsh, but calm, like sunlight filtering through the leaves of a quiet forest. That light is awareness, the gentle flame of consciousness itself. It doesn't demand attention, it simply exists, illuminating your inner world with kindness and peace. Philosophers across centuries have tried to describe this simple mystery. This presence that watches thought, that feels, that is. Some called it the soul, some the observer, and others the spark of the divine. But perhaps it needs no name at all. It is enough to know that you are aware, and that awareness itself is the miracle. Alan Watts once said that we do not come into the world, we come out of it, as leaves come from a tree, or waves rise from the sea. You are not a stranger to this universe. You are a continuation of its story, a temporary form through which it contemplates itself. So as you rest tonight, allow that thought to comfort you. You are not alone in existence. The very air that moves through you has been breathed by countless beings before. By poets, philosophers, and dreamers, by ancient trees and silent oceans. The universe has been whispering through you all along. Let that whisper become softer now, a lullaby in the language of stars. Each breath, each heartbeat, a reminder that you belong to something vast and timeless, and that within that vastness there is peace. Imagine yourself lying upon a field beneath the open night sky. Above you, constellations shimmer gently, not cold or distant, but alive. Each one a thought the cosmos dreamed billions of years ago. You watch them quietly, feeling their slow, patient light travel across the ages to meet your gaze. And in that moment, you begin to understand what the great philosopher Bertrand Russell once wrote. That even in a universe without guarantees, there is profound beauty in the mere fact that it is. That we, fragile and fleeting, can witness this beauty, can wonder at it, and find meaning not in certainty, but in awe. Take another deep breath. Let the air flow in slowly and release it completely. Let your mind drift like a small boat on calm water. Thoughts may come, gentle ripples across the surface, but you do not need to chase them. Let them rise and fade. The water knows how to return to stillness on its own. You are beginning a journey now. Not through places, but through the quiet landscapes of philosophy and rest. Each idea will be a lantern, lighting a small part of the path ahead. Each reflection will invite you deeper into calm. And if you find yourself drifting into sleep along the way, that is perfectly fine. For even dreams are part of the great conversation between mind and universe. Let go now. Let the body grow heavy and warm. Let the breath become slow and effortless. Feel the quiet vastness opening within you, as though the whole of existence were exhaling into peace. And as your awareness softens, carry this gentle thought into the darkness ahead, that the universe is not something you stand outside of. It is something breathing, seeing, and dreaming through you. And in that knowing, you are home. Breath of existence. Somewhere in the stillness, between your breath and the slow rhythm of your heartbeat, there is a quiet truth. The one the Stoics and the Taoists both discovered long ago. They found it not in words or logic, but in the simple act of being present with the world as it is. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote to himself in the dim light of dawn, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." He was reminding his own weary mind that peace is not found in control, but in the graceful acceptance of what already flows. Take a breath now, slowly, deeply. Feel the air enter your lungs, cool, effortless, inevitable. Then release it, feeling the quiet satisfaction of letting go. The body knows this wisdom instinctively, that nothing held too tightly can endure. In the way the breath rises and falls, you can feel the entire pattern of existence. Every life, every moment, every thought, arising, changing, fading, returning. This is not loss, but rhythm, the heartbeat of the cosmos itself. Lao Tzu called it the way, the Tao. He said that the Tao flows through all things, effortless, like water finding its path. It doesn't force its way around stones. It simply moves where it must, shaping the world through patience and surrender. Imagine yourself as that stream now, clear water moving through soft valleys and over smooth stones. There is no resistance, no struggle. Even when you meet obstacles, you simply change direction, not with effort, but with grace. You continue on, carving the landscape with quiet strength. Take another breath. Inhale deeply and imagine drawing in the patience of that river. Exhale slowly and release the impulse to control what you cannot. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate. It is the art of saying yes to whatever comes, of meeting each moment with acceptance rather than resistance. This does not mean passivity or surrendering your will, but rather recognizing that peace lies not in what happens, but in how you receive it. The waves of life will always move, and you cannot calm the sea by commanding it to be still. But you can learn to float. You can let the water carry you instead of exhausting yourself against its current. Let this thought rest gently in your mind, like a leaf floating on still water. You cannot control the world, but you can choose your response to it. And that response, gentle, aware, and kind, is where freedom lives. As you breathe, allow this truth to sink deeper into your body. Each inhale, acceptance. Each exhale, release. The universe is breathing with you, its rhythm matching yours. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Close your eyes now, and imagine that strength not as tension or force, but as quiet, centered balance. A tree standing in the wind. The branches sway and dance, but the roots hold firm in the earth. You are that tree. The winds of circumstance will always pass through your life, but your roots, your awareness, your wisdom, your calm can remain untouched. Feel the weight of your body now, grounded and solid. Let your spine rest tall, like a trunk rising through still air. Let your thoughts drift like leaves. They may turn, spiral, or fall, but always another moment, another breath will come. The Taoists teach that when you stop trying to control the world begins to move through you more freely. When you cease to demand perfection, you discover beauty in imperfection. When you no longer struggle to arrive, you realize you have always been home. Take another deep breath in and out. Notice how the breath itself needs no instruction. It does not need your mind's help to happen. It has been breathing you since the beginning, since your first moment in the world. That same intelligence, the silent rhythm of existence, is guiding everything around you. The stars burn without being told how. The seasons turn without permission. The heart beats without thought. You too are part of that effortless motion. You are not a separate being struggling to survive within a universe. You are the universe, momentarily aware of itself. Playing, exploring, thinking, resting. Let that realization wash over you. It doesn't need to be understood. It only needs to be felt. It is the deep sigh of the cosmos, the way it says, "All is well." Now imagine a gentle wind moving through an open field. You can hear the grass whispering softly, each blade swaying in perfect harmony with the others. There is no leader, no follower, only motion in unity. This is the nature of being, simple, balanced, free. In this field of quiet existence, you can rest the mind that constantly strives to fix, define, or control. You can let it all drift. Every worry, every label, every plan, like dust dissolving in the morning light. Lao Tzu once wrote, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." So let go now, gently. Let go of every story you've told about who you are. You are not confined to the shape of your past or the edges of your identity. You are fluid, like the stream, like the air, like the breath itself. Take another deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel the subtle wave of calm as your body releases tension. Every breath is a quiet act of surrender. Every exhale, a return to balance. Marcus Aurelius also said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." These words remind us that peace begins when we stop demanding certainty. You don't need to have the answers. You only need to be open, to let life unfold like dawn revealing the landscape inch by inch. Feel the calm in that thought. Feel how soft life becomes when you no longer hold it so tightly, like sand in an open hand. When you relax, it stays. When you grasp, it slips away. Let your awareness widen now, like a slow sunrise in the mind. No need to chase meaning. Meaning is already here, woven into the quiet miracle of your breath, the warmth of your skin, the stillness surrounding you. You are part of a dance that began before memory and will continue after thought. It needs no audience, no approval, no conclusion. It is simply the way of things, the eternal rhythm of becoming and returning. So rest within that rhythm. Let your breath and the universe breathe together. Let the flow carry you toward the horizon of sleep. You are floating now, drifting in the gentle current of existence. No need to row, no need to reach the shore. The river knows its own course. Take one last slow inhale, feeling gratitude for this simple act of being alive. And exhale, releasing every remnant of effort, every unspoken thought. You are water, you are breath, you are life itself, flowing, effortless, eternal. And as your awareness begins to fade into the soft quiet of rest, remember the wisdom of the ancients. The universe does not rush, and yet everything is accomplished. The mirror of mind. The night deepens, and with it a softer kind of silence arrives. A silence that does not come from the absence of sound, but from the gentle quieting of thought. In this hush, you may begin to notice that your mind, which once seemed loud and restless, is simply doing what it has always done. Creating, commenting, remembering, imagining. The Buddhists call it the monkey mind, always leaping, grasping, swinging from one branch of thought to the next. But beneath those restless movements, there is something vast and still. The awareness that watches. Take a slow, deep breath now. Inhale and notice the sensation of air entering your body. The coolness, the expansion, the subtle vibration of life. Exhale and feel the gentle release, the body's sigh of relief. You are breathing, yes. But more than that, you are aware that you are breathing. And that awareness, silent, unchanging, luminous, is the quiet mirror of mind. Imagine now that your thoughts are clouds moving across a boundless sky. Some are light and playful, others heavy and grey. But no matter their shape, they cannot stain the sky itself. The sky remains pure, open, infinite. In the same way, your awareness is never truly disturbed by the thoughts that pass through it. It does not argue or grasp. It simply allows. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds it. Take another breath and imagine each exhale clearing the horizon of your inner sky. Let the thoughts drift, one by one, until all that remains is the clear blue of being. This is not something to force. It is something to remember. For awareness is not an achievement. It is what you have always been. The Buddha taught that clinging to thoughts and desires is the root of suffering. Not because life should be empty, but because everything changes, and what changes cannot be held. Even joy, when gripped too tightly, becomes pain. But when you learn to let thoughts and feelings pass, you begin to taste freedom. Freedom not from life, but within it. A calm that does not depend on circumstance. Take a moment now to feel that calm. Not as a concept, but as a living presence in your body. Notice the quiet rhythm of your breathing, the soft pulse in your fingertips, the steady hum of existence moving through you. That hum is life itself. And life has always been enough. Imagine a small pond at dawn, its surface still and glass-like. As the sun rises, the light begins to shimmer across it. Every reflection, a tree, a cloud, a bird, appears and disappears without a trace. The pond does not cling to any image. It welcomes them all and lets them all go. Your mind too can become that pond, reflective, spacious, free. Each thought arises, each emotion visits, and each one, inevitably, passes. This is the natural law of impermanence. The great teacher Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor. So let your breath be your anchor now." Inhale, slowly, fully. Exhale, gently, completely. If thoughts come, greet them with kindness. If emotions rise, let them move through like waves upon the shore. You need not push anything away. You need only remember, this too will pass. In Buddhism, there is a word, anatta. It means not self. It does not mean you do not exist. It means that what you call you is not fixed or separate. You are not a solid island. You are a flowing river of experience. Thoughts, sensations, memories, awareness, constantly changing, constantly renewed. To see this is to find peace. For when you stop clinging to the idea of who you should be, you make space for what you already are. Let that truth wash over you now. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness in which thoughts appear. You are not your emotions. You are the space that allows them to breathe. You are not your story. You are the quiet watcher of its unfolding. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let every label you've carried dissolve. Your name, your roles, your worries. They are useful in the waking world, but here, in this moment of rest, you can lay them down like garments at the edge of a still lake. Feel the lightness that comes with that letting go. It is not emptiness, it is freedom. There is a saying in Zen, when the mind is silent, the whole universe surrenders. This is not a command, it is an observation. When you stop grasping for control, the world unfolds as it was always meant to. When you stop seeking peace, you find that peace was already here. Let your mind rest in that open stillness. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to fix. Awareness itself is enough. And yet, even as you listen, you may notice a thought saying, "Am I doing this right?" Notice it and let it drift away. Awareness is not something you can do wrong. It is not an activity. It is the background of everything. In this awareness, there is no past or future, only presence. The same awareness that hears these words is the same that once heard the laughter of childhood, the same that will one day watch the sunrise again. It does not age, it does not fade, it simply observes. It is like a candle that lights all things, but is never diminished by what it illuminates. Rest now in that gentle light. Let your breath become effortless, as though the universe were breathing you. Each inhale a gift, each exhale a soft release. You are not separate from the world. You are the awareness through which the world experiences itself. Every sound, every breath, every sensation is part of one unfolding reality, and you are that reality, awake, aware, and infinite. In Zen, it is said, "Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water." The great truth is that nothing extraordinary must happen for peace to exist. Peace is already here. In the simple act of breathing, in the rhythm of life unfolding without effort. So as you rest, let yourself be simple again. You do not need to think profound thoughts or reach for higher meaning. You are already enough, just as the breath is enough. The mirror of the mind reflects all things and clings to none. You are that mirror, still, clear, infinite. Let this awareness cradle you now, like moonlight upon quiet water. The ripples fade, the reflections grow soft, and all that remains is stillness. Breathe, drift, be, the ocean of time. Listen closely to the silence around you. If you pay attention, you can almost hear the sound of time passing. Not as a tick or a beat, but as a quiet, endless unfolding. Each breath you take is a wave in that great ocean, rising and falling, appearing and disappearing, never quite the same, and yet part of the same rhythm that has always been. You might imagine time as a river flowing past, but the ancient philosopher Heraclitus offered something subtler. He said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for the river is always changing, and so are we." Pause now and feel that truth in your own body. The person you were this morning is already gone. The one who will awaken tomorrow does not yet exist. What remains is only this breath, this heartbeat, this eternal moment unfolding now. Breathe deeply. Feel the air enter, leave, and enter again. Even your breath is Heraclitus River, always moving, always new. We often imagine time as something that happens to us, something that carries us forward, relentlessly, toward aging, change, and loss. But time is not a current dragging you away from life. Time is life. You are not being swept downstream. You are the water itself. The Stoics understood this too. Marcus Aurelius wrote that every instant is enough, for it contains the whole of existence. He urged us not to waste our minds longing for what was or what might be, but to rest in the only truth that has ever existed, the present. Take a moment now to rest there. Notice how even the word now seems to open a door inside you. When you step through it, the noise of yesterday and tomorrow fades. What's left is simple. The rhythm of your breath, the stillness of awareness, the gentle warmth of being. Time is often thought of as something that moves forward, but St. Augustine, centuries later, realized that we never truly experience past or future. He wrote that the past exists only as memory, and the future only as expectation. The only place we ever live is the present, but within that present, memory and anticipation flow like tides. Think of how a scent can carry you to childhood, or how a song can make years dissolve in an instant. In those moments, time folds in on itself. Past and present, blending like waves merging into one sea. This is the wonder Augustine was pointing to. Time is not a line, but a living ocean. And consciousness is the tide that moves through it. Take another deep breath. Imagine yourself floating upon that ocean now, supported effortlessly by its vastness. Each inhale lifts you. Each exhale carries you gently forward. There is no hurry. The waves move at the pace of eternity. The philosopher Henri Bergson once said that time is not something that can be measured, but something that is felt. He called it la durée, duration, the living, flowing experience of time as it moves through consciousness. A clock may count seconds, but your soul measures time by emotion, memory, and awareness. Think of a moment of joy, how it can feel infinite, how seconds seem to vanish. And think of a moment of sorrow, how time can stretch endlessly. The truth is, time is not something outside you. It is the texture of your own being. Let that idea soften in your mind like ripples spreading across still water. The hours, the years, the ages, they are not rigid, they are alive. And within that living flow, you too are a movement, a pattern in the current of existence. Imagine now that you are standing on the shore of a great sea at dusk. The water stretches endlessly before you, turning gold and violet under the fading light. You watch the waves roll in, each one unique, each one rising and falling, and yet part of the same great body. The ancient Greeks often saw time as circular, a cycle of birth, decay, and renewal. To them, even the stars moved in sacred repetition. In truth, perhaps time is less a line and more a spiral, returning again and again, each turn echoing what came before, but never quite the same. You can feel this in the rhythm of your own life. Each night you return to sleep, to stillness, to renewal. And each morning you awaken again into light. You have been doing this since the day you were born. The days rise and fall like tides, and through them you have changed in countless ways, yet something constant has remained. That constant is awareness, the silent witness that has watched all your seasons pass. It watched the laughter of youth, the questions of growth, the quiet of this very night. It will watch the sunrise tomorrow. It is the thread that time cannot touch. Take another breath. Feel that thread, that unbroken continuity of being, stretching softly through your life. It is the part of you that is older than memory, older than fear, as old as the universe itself. In moments like this, when you rest in still awareness, time loosens its grip. Minutes, hours, even years become irrelevant. All that exists is presence. And presence is eternity, seen from within. The philosopher Alan Watts once said, "You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at itself." If that is true, then time is not something moving past you, but something the universe experiences through you. Each second is the cosmos noticing itself for a brief, shining instant. As you let yourself rest in that thought. You are not racing toward an ending. You are unfolding. Each moment is both the destination and the journey. You cannot fall out of the flow, for you are the flow. Now, as you breathe, imagine the whole of time as a single shimmering wave, rising from eternity, curling into this moment, and returning home again. You are floating upon it, light, weightless, timeless. The boundaries between past, present, and future fade away. There is only this, the sound of your breath, the feeling of being alive, the endless now. In this ocean of time, you are free. There is no beginning, no end, only the deep, rhythmic pulse of existence, the eternal heartbeat of being. Let yourself sink into that rhythm. Let it cradle you like the tide. With each breath, you drift further into peace. With each exhale, you surrender to the gentle truth that you are part of something vast, ancient, and unhurried. You are the river, the ocean, the sky, the silent witness of it all. And in this still moment, where time folds into eternity, you can finally rest. The fragile miracle of life. There is a silence deeper than night, a stillness that reveals how delicate, how astonishing life truly is. As you breathe softly now, feel the warmth that moves through your body, the gentle rhythm of your heart, the faint glow of consciousness flickering in the vast darkness of space. Against all odds, against the cold emptiness between the stars, you exist. Every cell, every heartbeat, every thought is the product of billions of years of unfolding chance and order, chaos and harmony, an improbable dance of atoms and light. You are not merely in the universe. You are the universe, briefly aware of itself. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the miracle of it. How easily we forget that to breathe, to feel, to love, to think is extraordinary. The existentialist Albert Camus once wrote that the human heart, in the face of an absurd and indifferent universe, still chooses to love life. He called this revolt, not a rebellion of anger, but of joy, to awaken each morning and say, "Yes, even so, I choose to live." Feel that affirmation now. It does not need to be loud. It can be a whisper, a quiet acceptance that life, in all its uncertainty, is worth cherishing. We often think that meaning must be something vast and distant, a final purpose, a cosmic plan, a reason written in the stars. But perhaps meaning is something smaller, gentler. The way sunlight warms your skin, the way laughter echoes between friends, the stillness of this very moment. Viktor Frankl, who endured unimaginable suffering, discovered that meaning cannot always be given. It must be created. Even in darkness, he wrote, we have the freedom to choose our response. To suffer with dignity, to love despite pain, to bring light into the world, however small. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, feel the quiet strength that comes with acceptance. Not resignation, but the courage to live truthfully, without needing guarantees. It is a strange paradox that the more we try to cling to life, the more fragile it feels. But when we simply allow it, when we live without clutching, it becomes radiant, as if every moment were the first and the last. Imagine standing in a field at dawn. The air is cool and clear. The first rays of sunlight stretch across the horizon. Each drop of dew shines like a tiny world. You breathe, and in that single breath, you feel the immensity of existence, the quiet, infinite unfolding of being. This is what it means to live fully, to be awake to the ordinary, to see wonder not as something rare, but as something always present, waiting to be noticed. Bertrand Russell once said that the good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge. Love without understanding can be blind, but knowledge without love can be cold. Between the two lies wisdom, a gentle balance of heart and mind, of knowing and feeling. As you rest now, let that balance soften within you. Let your thoughts slow until they feel like ripples fading on a still pond. And as the ripples fade, see what remains, the simple, luminous awareness of being alive. You do not need to earn this life. You do not need to justify your existence. You are already part of something vast and sacred, woven into the quiet harmony of all things. Every breath you take is the continuation of a story billions of years in the making. From starlight to sunlight, from oceans to thought, from the beginning of time to this moment right here. Take another breath, slow, effortless, full of gratitude. The air that fills your lungs once passed through trees, through mountains and oceans, through the lungs of countless other beings. You are sharing in the breath of the world. There is no separation here, only participation. This is the philosophy of wonder, not the search for meaning beyond life, but the discovery of meaning within it. To see beauty in impermanence, to find grace in simplicity, to say yes to the moment, even as it passes. For everything passes, every joy, every sorrow, every heartbeat. But what makes life precious is not its permanence, but its transience. It is because things end that they matter. As Buddha said, the lotus blooms in the muddy water. From the uncertainty of existence grows compassion. From the awareness of mortality arises love. Knowing that nothing lasts forever makes everything infinitely precious. Feel that truth settle softly in your heart. The tenderness you feel when you look at a loved one, the ache of beauty when you see a sunset fade. These are not signs of loss, but of connection. They remind you that you are capable of love, and that love itself is the meaning you seek. So breathe, and let gratitude flow through you like light through glass. Gratitude, not for what you possess, but for the miracle that you can feel at all. Every heartbeat, every moment of awareness is a gift from the cosmos to itself. And when you rest tonight, you are returning that gift. You are giving the universe back to itself in peace. Let your body sink deeper now, each breath slower, each thought softer. You are not leaving life behind. You are joining it more completely, in stillness. The existentialist Simone de Beauvoir wrote that to live is to choose, but to sleep, to surrender to rest, is also a choice. It is a gentle faith in the world, a trust that life continues even when you release it for a while. So as you close your eyes and drift toward that quiet realm of dreams, let yourself feel this truth, that to be alive, to breathe, to love, to rest is enough. You are a fragile miracle, a moment of consciousness in an infinite sea of possibility. And in this moment, right here, right now, you are perfect, the self and the whole. Take a slow breath, and another. With each inhale, imagine light flowing in, soft, golden, infinite. With each exhale, feel your edges begin to blur, as if the borders of your body are melting gently into the space around you. You are still here, of course. But perhaps here is larger than you once thought. You might picture yourself as a single wave on the surface of the sea. For a moment, you rise, individual, distinct, yet the water that forms you is never separate from the ocean. You are not apart from the whole. You are the whole, for a little while in motion. The philosopher Baruch Spinoza saw the world this way. He believed there was only one substance in the universe, one infinite reality, and everything we experience, from stars to thoughts, is simply an expression of that single divine essence. He called it Deus sive natura, God or nature, two names for the same thing. If that is true, then you are not a fragment, not a lonely self trying to belong. You already belong. You are the universe thinking, breathing, feeling, dreaming, for a time, as you. Let that idea soften in your mind. It is not something to solve, but something to sense. Take another breath. Feel the air entering your lungs, air that has passed through forests and oceans, through countless other beings. With every breath, you share life with everything else. There is no line between your inhale and the world's exhale. In the stillness of this awareness, you can feel how interconnected everything truly is. Not in theory, but in the simple truth that nothing exists alone. A star burns, and from its ashes, new worlds are born. A tree breathes, and the air becomes your breath. You think, and your thought becomes an action, a ripple that moves outward through others, through time. The Buddhist tradition speaks of this interbeing. Thich Nhat Hanh described it beautifully. To be is to interbe. Nothing exists by itself. A cloud depends on the sky depends on the earth depends on the sun, and you depend on them all. When you see this clearly, you begin to understand that compassion is not a virtue to practice. It is a recognition of truth. To harm another is to harm yourself. To love another is to remember yourself. Imagine now that you are lying under a vast night sky. The stars are scattered above like seeds of light. Each one is distant, and yet their light touches your skin. A bridge across billions of years. The space between them is not empty. It is the quiet field that holds them all. You are part of that field. A constellation of thoughts and sensations, shimmering for a brief time in the great pattern of being. The modern physicists echo this truth in another language. They tell us that everything is connected, that particles across space can influence each other instantly, that what seems separate is at its deepest level one. Perhaps this is what the mystics and philosophers always sensed. That separation is only a surface illusion, like the ripples on a lake that seem distinct, though all are made of the same water. Take a slow breath and let your awareness expand outward. First, feel the space of your body, your chest rising and falling. Then, feel the space around it, the quiet air, the invisible energy that holds you. Now, stretch that awareness further, to the walls of your room, to the trees and the streets beyond, to the horizon, to the sky. With each breath, you expand. With each exhale, the boundaries fade a little more, until at last, you feel no line at all, only vast, open awareness. This is what the Taoists called returning to the source, the moment when the drop remembers it is ocean. Spinoza believed that peace comes not from escaping the world, but from seeing oneself as a part of its necessity. When you understand that everything unfolds from the same divine order, joy and sorrow, birth and loss, light and shadow, you stop resisting. You begin to trust the flow of existence, even when it's beyond your understanding. This trust is not naive. It is wise, gentle, grounded. It is the calm of a person who knows that every wave returns to the sea, and that the sea never truly loses a wave. Let that truth settle inside you like still water. Every joy you have ever felt, every sorrow, every face you have loved or will love is part of one vast tapestry, woven from the same invisible thread. Even your solitude is shared. Even your silence is full of echoes. Take another breath. And as you exhale, feel yourself dissolving into that unity. Not disappearing, but expanding. You are the tree and the sky, the wind and the stars, the watcher and the watched. The universe, looking into its own reflection and smiling quietly. This is not a metaphor. It is the lived truth of awareness. When the mind becomes still enough, the illusion of I and you, this and that, fades like mist in sunlight. What remains is pure being, boundless, radiant, whole. Stay in that wholeness now. No effort, no striving, just presence. Every breath a wave, every thought a ripple, every heartbeat an echo of the infinite. And in this great stillness, feel the most gentle realization of all. You have never been alone. You have always been a part of everything. The stars, the rivers, the dreams, the dust. You are the whole, remembering itself for a moment as you. Let that remembering carry you deeper into rest. Let your mind dissolve into the peace of unity. There is nothing left to find, only to be. And in that being, all is well. Shadows and light. In every life there are seasons of brightness and of shadow. Even the sun must yield to night, and the night in turn gives birth to dawn. You can feel that rhythm in your breath right now, in the rise and fall, the taking in and the letting go. There is nothing in you that must be denied for you to be whole. The philosopher Nietzsche called this amor fati, the love of one's fate. He urged us not merely to accept what happens, but to embrace it completely, to say a great and honest yes to life in all its forms. So take a breath, and as you exhale, whisper inwardly, yes. Say yes to the joy that fills you easily, and yes also to the sorrow that moves more slowly through your veins. Say yes to uncertainty, to beauty, to loss, to growth. For to love life only when it is kind is to miss the full poetry of being. Close your eyes and picture a mountain at dusk. The last light slides across its slopes, revealing ridges and shadows together. If the mountain were lit from every angle, you would see only glare. It is the shadows that give it shape. Your own soul is like that. The parts of you you've tried to hide or silence are the very contours that make you whole. Take another slow breath. Let the air move gently through you. With each inhale, imagine light entering the darker corners of your heart. Not to erase them, but to understand them. Many traditions teach that the way to peace is not to destroy what is painful, but to hold it in awareness until it softens. The Stoics spoke of reasoned calm in adversity. The Buddhists spoke of compassion for suffering. Both, in their own language, pointed toward the same truth, that peace is born not of avoidance, but of inclusion. So allow yourself now to feel whatever lingers beneath the quiet. Regret, longing, fatigue, hope. There is room for all of it. Awareness is vast enough to hold every emotion, just as the night sky holds every star. Notice how, when you stop resisting a feeling, it begins to change shape. It breathes. It passes through you instead of becoming you. Let the tears you have never shed find permission to exist. Let the laughter you've withheld return in its own time. Both are expressions of the same living pulse. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard wrote that anxiety is the dizziness of freedom, the vertigo that comes from standing at the edge of possibility. When you feel uncertainty, it is not a sign that something is wrong. It is evidence that you are alive and able to choose. Take a breath and feel how even in stillness there is movement inside you. The heart beats, the lungs expand. Life never truly freezes, even in quiet. Imagine now that you are walking through a forest at night. The moonlight filters between tall trees. You can see only a few steps ahead, yet you keep walking, trusting that each step will reveal the next. This is how existence unfolds, one illuminated breath at a time. Nietzsche spoke of becoming a yes-sayer to life. He imagined a person who, even if made to live the same life again and again for eternity, would still embrace it fully. What if you could look at your own story with that same courage? Not to wish it different, but to see its beauty precisely because it is yours. Every scar, every mistake, is a word in the poem of your becoming. Without them, the meaning would be incomplete. Take another breath. Let gratitude mingle with forgiveness. The two are twins, each born from acceptance. Now, picture yourself surrounded by candlelight. Some flames burn high, some low. Together they create a soft, trembling glow. This is your life, moments bright and dim woven into one radiance. You need not choose between them. As the candles flicker, notice how the shadows dance with the light. They are partners, not enemies. Without shadow, the flame would have no depth. Without darkness, light would have no meaning. The quiet between brightness and shadow is where understanding lives. Take another slow breath and let that understanding settle in you. Inhale the light, the warmth of all that brings you peace. Exhale into the darkness, the parts of life you once feared to face. Notice how they balance, how one gives shape to the other. The ancient Greeks said that even the gods could not escape Moira, the weaving of fate. But what they could do was meet it with grace. In your own way, you can do the same. There will always be seasons when the path turns steep, but the light of awareness never leaves you. It burns quietly beneath every thought, like a lantern at the center of your being. Feel for that lantern now. It may be faint, but it is steady. It is the small, indestructible knowing that you are alive. That even in difficulty, you remain part of the unfolding whole. When you breathe, that light brightens. When you rest, it steadies. It asks for nothing more than your gentle attention. Somewhere within you lives a wisdom that understands pain as part of the same great motion that brings joy. When rain falls, the river swells. When sorrow visits, the heart learns depth. Both are necessary for the landscape of your soul to be complete. Nietzsche imagined the Übermensch, not a conqueror of others, but a person who transforms suffering into strength, who turns chaos into creation. You need not be heroic. You need only be honest. To look at your pain and say, I can make something from this. That is already creation. Take another deep breath. Let it fill you from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Hold it gently, and then let it go. As you exhale, feel the body grow heavier, the heart a little lighter. If a memory rises, let it come. Do not resist. Memories are like fireflies, brief sparks that remind you of how vivid life can be. Each carries its own truth, but none defines you. You are the field in which they flicker. Imagine now that the night around you begins to lighten, not with daybreak, but with the soft silver of an approaching dawn. You see the outline of the world return. The hills, the trees, the quiet horizon. Nothing has changed, and yet everything feels new. This is how healing works. The landscape remains, but the light through which you see it has shifted. The Japanese call this wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection, the grace of things unfinished. A cracked bowl made whole by gold, a fleeting blossom admired precisely because it falls. You too are part of that fragile beauty. The cracks in your story are where the light enters. Let yourself rest in that softness. You do not need to be flawless to be whole. The universe does not ask perfection from the stars. It only asks that they shine. Take one more long, slow breath. Inhale the peace of acceptance. Exhale everything that keeps you from it. Now, as the mind grows still, let the boundaries of light and shadow blur until they merge into one. What remains is not brightness or darkness, but a deep, quiet radiance. The calm of knowing that you can hold both. This is the wisdom of the middle path, the gentle equilibrium between joy and sorrow, gain and loss, birth and decay. It is not something to achieve, but something to notice. You are already in it, just as night and day already exist within the same sky. Let that sky expand within you until there is no above or below, no light or dark, only spacious awareness, and within it the tender pulse of life continuing. Rest there. Let the breath come and go without effort. Feel how every exhale carries you closer to the threshold of sleep, a place where thought dissolves and only being remains. You are not leaving anything behind. You are returning to balance, to peace, to the quiet acceptance that every shadow is an invitation to light. And so you drift now, held between the two, perfectly whole. The silence beyond thought. There comes a point in reflection when words grow quiet. Ideas, like ripples on a pond, slow and fade. What remains is not an answer, but a deep, lucid presence. The simple awareness that has been watching all along. Take a slow, unhurried breath. Inhale through the nose, feeling the air cool and steady. Exhale gently through the mouth, letting everything soften. The body settles. The mind loosens its hold. Awareness remains, silent, bright, and vast. The mystic Meister Eckhart once said, "The eye through which I see God is the same eye through which God sees me." He was not speaking of sight, but of a kind of perception beyond separation. The moment when the watcher and the watched become one. You can feel that now if you listen closely. The one who is breathing and the breath itself are not two things. The awareness that hears these words and the stillness from which they rise are part of the same field. There is no border, no gap, only being. Let yourself sink into that realization. It does not need to be described. It is enough to feel. The philosopher Edmund Husserl called this the phenomenon of pure consciousness, the world before interpretation, before the mind divides it into names and meanings. If you rest here long enough, you will notice how everything simply is. the sound of your breath, the faint hum in the distance, the pulse behind your ribs, all of it arising from the same source, a silent unfolding of existence. Alan Watts often said that the task of meditation is not to silence the mind, but to stop taking thought so personally. The mind thinks as naturally as the heart beats. You do not have to interfere. You can simply watch. So watch now, not as a judge, not as a seeker, but as space itself watching the play of thought. A thought appears, a word, a memory, a flicker of sound. You notice it, and in noticing, it dissolves. Another thought comes. It too fades. What remains? Stillness, presence, the gentle hum of being. Let that hum fill you. Let it surround you like warm, endless air. When the Zen masters spoke of enlightenment, they described it not as a grand revelation, but as returning to what was always here. Before thought, before name, you were. You are. You might picture awareness as a great open sky. Thoughts drift through it like clouds, sometimes thick and stormy, sometimes light and playful. But the sky is never harmed by the clouds. It remains infinite, untouched, blue. You are that sky. Your thoughts, feelings, and memories are simply weather patterns passing through. They belong to you, but they do not define you. Take a slow, deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine those clouds thinning until the vast sky of awareness shines through again. Clear, still, boundless. Now listen, not with your ears, but with your whole being. In the silence between breaths, there is a presence more profound than sound. It does not move. It does not change. Yet it holds everything that does. This is the silence that mystics and philosophers have tried to describe with 1,000 names. Being, Brahman, Tao, the One. But names only point. The reality itself cannot be spoken, only known in quiet. Let yourself fall into that quiet now. Each breath is slower, deeper. Each thought more distant, as though you were watching waves from the shore. Imagine yourself seated at the edge of a vast lake at night. The water is perfectly still. The stars above shimmer on its surface, and for a moment, you can't tell where the sky ends and the water begins. The reflection and the reality are one. So it is with awareness and the world. They mirror one another, inseparable, infinite. Feel yourself resting in that unity. No boundaries, no expectations, no effort. There is nothing to achieve here. The truth of your being is not something you can reach, because it has never been apart from you. It is what you are when you stop searching. Take one more breath, slow, gentle, free. Let the inhale rise like a wave, and the exhale dissolve into stillness. Again and again. In this rhythm, you can feel the quiet heartbeat of the universe itself. It has been there since before time, and it will continue long after thought falls away. Now, imagine that this stillness grows brighter, as if illuminated from within by a soft silver light. This light is awareness itself, clear, compassionate, boundless. It moves through every cell, through every part of you that has ever felt separate. There is no need to hold on. You are safe within it. You have always been. In the words of the ancient Taoists, when you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as to all the world. When you rest in silence, love flows easily, for there is no one left to defend. only the vastness of being, looking out through every pair of eyes. Stay in that silence a while longer. Notice how it feels. Not cold or empty, but full, alive, awake. It is the same silence that existed before your first breath and will exist long after your last. And right now, it holds you tenderly, like a mother holding her child. Allow your thoughts, if they still drift, to fade entirely now. Let even the idea of you become soft around the edges. You do not disappear. You simply expand until there is no division at all. All sound fades into quiet. All thought fades into peace. There is only the infinite luminous stillness, the silence beyond thought. And in that silence, you rest. Not as someone resting in the universe, but as the universe, finally still, finally home. The eternal return to peace. The body has grown heavy now, and the mind lighter. Each breath moves like a slow tide along the shore, drawing you inward, then letting you drift a little farther from waking. If you listen closely, you can almost hear the earth breathing with you. The same rhythm moves through the oceans, through the sap in the trees, through the blood that beats gently in your veins. You are part of that pulse, a single heartbeat in the life of the cosmos. The philosophers of every age have tried to touch this mystery. Some call it God, some nature, some simply being, but names are only waves on the surface. Beneath them lies the same vast ocean, quiet, luminous, eternal. Take a slow, deep breath and feel that ocean inside you. With each inhale, the universe expands. With each exhale, it returns. The Stoics believed that existence itself moves in cycles, that creation, destruction, and renewal are all one continuous motion of divine breath. Everything that has ever lived is part of that endless rhythm. You have felt it before. The sense that life rises and falls like seasons, that every ending carries the seed of beginning. Even this night, as it draws you towards sleep, is not an ending, but a gentle turning of the wheel. In ancient philosophy, sleep was often seen as a kind of return, a nightly reminder that rest and death are not enemies of life, but its companions. When you surrender to sleep, you are not abandoning the world. You are returning it to balance. Take another breath. Inhale, peace. Exhale, surrender. You may feel, just for a moment, the edges of thought begin to blur, as though the world itself were fading into dream. Do not resist. This is the mind's way of remembering that it too belongs to the rhythm of creation and rest. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." And in the evening, the same gratitude can guide you gently into stillness. For to rest is also a privilege, to trust that life continues even while you sleep. Let that trust deepen now. The breath slows. The body becomes weightless. The thoughts that once circled begin to drift apart, like stars fading before the dawn. You are floating in the same quiet current that carries galaxies through space. Their light reaches you after millions of years, a soft reminder that time and distance are only variations of the same eternal presence. You do not need to reach the stars. You are already made of them. The carbon in your bones, the oxygen in your lungs, the iron in your blood, all were forged in ancient suns, born again as you. So when you rest tonight, you are returning to that origin, to that timeless unity of matter and light. The universe will continue its vast breathing, and you will breathe with it, without effort, without fear. The philosopher Seneca once wrote that death is nothing to fear, because it is simply the absence of sensation. A rest so complete that no harm can come. Sleep is a small reflection of that peace, a rehearsal for renewal. And every morning you are born again. Let that reassurance move through you. You are safe to rest. The world is not asking anything of you now. You may let go of striving, of thought, of identity. Let go until only awareness remains, and then let that too dissolve into quiet. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast sea under a silver sky. The air is cool, the water calm. The tide rises to meet your feet. You step forward, and the water welcomes you, warm and infinite. With each breath, you sink deeper, not into darkness, but into peace. You feel yourself floating, neither awake nor asleep, neither here nor elsewhere. A single spark in the endless glow of being. Above you, the constellations turn slowly. Each star traces its ancient path, just as it always has, just as it always will. The universe keeps its vigil while you rest. Somewhere in that vastness, the same light that began the cosmos burns quietly within you. It has no beginning and no end. It only changes form. From flame to breath, from thought to dream, from waking to sleep. And so you return now to that eternal rhythm, to peace. Take one last deep breath. Feel it enter like a wave of calm. Exhale everything that is not needed, every story, every memory, every name. You are no longer separate from anything. You are the stillness that holds the stars, the silence between heartbeats, the dream of the cosmos dreaming itself. Let the breath fade to a whisper. Let thought dissolve completely. Only peace remains. The night enfolds you gently. The universe hums its low, endless lullaby. And you, tiny and infinite at once, drift within it. Safe, weightless, home. Sleep now. Rest in the eternal return of peace. Tomorrow, when the light finds you again, the world will still be turning. The breath will still be flowing, and life will begin again. Quietly, beautifully, exactly as it always has. Good night. Rest well. All is well. Closing reflection. Good night to the self. Everything has grown quiet now. The stories, the questions, even the breath, all slowing, soft as dust settling after rain. There's nothing left to do, nothing to hold, nothing to understand. The day has closed its eyes, and so may you. Let the body lie heavy upon the bed, a small island of warmth in a vast sea of night. The muscles release their last trace of effort. The face smooths, the hands uncurl, the heart moves in its slow, patient rhythm. Each inhale is the universe arriving. Each exhale, the universe returning home. You are the meeting point of those tides. A breath suspended between stars and earth. You do not need to reach for stillness anymore. You are already within it. The mind, once full of light and motion, now drifts like a lantern whose flame grows low. It is not going out, only turning inward into the calm that existed before every thought. Somewhere in that calm, a quiet awareness watches even sleep approaching. It does not sleep or wake. It simply is. It is the same awareness that has always been, that heard laughter, that felt sorrow, that watched sunsets and first snows, that now watches darkness fold around you like silk. That awareness has no edge, no name, no story. It is the simple fact of being. The hum beneath all things. You can rest in that hum as in a cradle. It will hold you while you sleep, as it has held the world since time began. Take one last deep breath, slow and soft, and let it fall away. Feel yourself sinking, not down, but inward, into a space so wide it feels endless. The philosophers said that wisdom ends in wonder. The mystics said that love begins in silence. And here they meet, in this moment of perfect rest. No need to remember the words. No need to keep the images. Let them drift away like feathers in the dark. Only this remains, the warmth of the body, the rhythm of the heart, the gentle sound of breath moving in and out. Life quietly continuing. Now whisper to yourself. Not aloud, just within. Good night. Good night to the thinker who tried so hard to understand. Good night to the seeker who searched for meaning and found peace instead. Good night to the self who carried the weight of the day and now can rest. You have done enough. You are enough. You may rest now. Outside, the stars keep their slow watch. Somewhere, the moon crosses the edge of the horizon. The world turns, patient and kind. The same quiet rhythm that moves the galaxies moves through your breath. You are part of that rhythm. A single note in an endless song. And now the song grows soft. The note fades gently into silence. You drift between breaths, between thoughts, between worlds. Every cell loosens, every sound melts into distance. The night takes you in its arms. This is not an ending, only another beginning. The eternal return to peace. Sleep now, deeply and without fear. The universe keeps its vigil. The light within you never fades. Good night, traveler of thought. Good night, quiet witness of the stars. Good night, soft breath of the cosmos. All is well. All has always been well. And all will be well again when you wake. Rest. Drift. Be.